Good morning, students. Today we are going to read class 7th SST History, chapter number 5, Architecture, Painting and Music, part 2. So, student, in the previous video I had explained about the temple architecture that was raised during the time of medieval period in India. So, in that video I had explained about the two different style of temple architecture, that is Nagar style, and the another one is Dravida style, and one more it is emerged during that time, that is the Visara style during the medieval period. And Visara style was the combination of Dravida style as well as the Nagar style. So in that topic also I had explained the different temples that was constructed and the main features what the temple had in that monument, those monuments. So likewise we'll read about the Islamic architecture in this video. Let us begin the Islamic architecture. So basically the arrival of Turks, Afghans and Mughals in India that led to evolution of Indo-Islamic style of architecture. So how this Indo-Islamic style of architecture emerged, that we have read already in the chapter number 4. So in that video also I had explained that how this Indo-Islamic architectural style of architecture was emerged. So it was just because of the mixture of uh, two different communities, whether the Hindu and the Muslim religion. So they have emerged not only themselves, they had also emerged the architectural ways also. So in that we have studied the different monuments that were constructed by whether Shah Jahan or Akbar, say Shah Suri. So like that we have to read those things here in this topic only. So the Indo-Islamic architecture has several features. Likewise we have studied in the temple architecture like Garbhagriha, Vimana and other things. So in this also you have to understand the different features of Indo-Islamic architecture. So here you can see the uh, the features of the Indo-Islamic architectures were like dome, true arch, minarets, mosaic, floral and geometric motifs like lotus, bell and swastika, calligraphy. So these are some of the famous feature during that time uh, that was used for construction of these monuments, Islamic monuments basically. So like Delhi Sultans, when they converted the temples and existing buildings into mosques, which developed as a fusion of both styles. So this was the probably starting of the fusion of the both style, Hindu style as well as Islamic style. It was begin from the Delhi Sultans because they have converted many temples and buildings into a mosque. So that mosque architecture and the temple architecture which was previously prevail, those architecture get mixed up and they started giving the new form of architecture, that is the Indo-Islamic architecture that you have read already. One more thing it is here, human and animal figure were not used in the Islamic architecture because this kind of architecture, yeah, this kind of figures were considered as un-Islamic. So that is why the Islamic architecture does not use the human as well as animal. So they have used the Islamic architecture people, those who have constructed the different monuments, they have used the several stones for the construction purposes. Like they have used the red sandstone, and it was mainly used by the Delhi Sultans, basically slave and the Khalji dynasty. So basically these two dynasties were there, those who have used the red sandstone for the construction of the monuments what they have constructed in during their rule. Mughals, basically they used the white marbles. So it was the time of after Akbar only the white marble was used by the Mughals, and also the glazed tiles. Glazed tiles means it's a printed or the designed tiles that was used for the construction of the different Islamic monuments. So these were the things that they have used for the construction purposes. Whether they were the sultans or whether they were the Mughals, they had used the different architectural style and the different features for the construction of the Islamic buildings. Now let us see one by one the different architecture, the features what they have used for the construction. Like the first important thing is the dome. Dome is what? It's a curve formation or structure. It is shaped like the half of a square. You might have seen a different mosses around yourself. So there you can observe the roof is circular. It's a spherical, half spherical shape. The half spherical shape we have seen, that half spherical roof of that mosque is known as dome. So dome is used in several buildings or several monuments of the Mughal architecture and the Islamic architecture, because it makes the architecture look tall as well as big. So that is why dome was used. True arc. So true arc is a architecture. It's a simple structure that work on arch action and consist of vesivers above the vertical posts and the keystone in the middle. Hence it get curved at top due to this arrangement. Now there you can see in the picture the keystone. So this structure is used for the keystone. There you can see that this keystone is placed in between those stones. So because of the keystone, rest stones were carved as like that. So this particular gateway or the gate entrance is known as the true arc. So this was constructed during the time of Islamic architecture. So this feature is present in the almost every of the monuments which was constructed by the Mughals or the Islamic architecture. Minarets. So minarets or minar you have seen in the different monuments, like in Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar and the Char Minar. You have seen different minarets. So minarets, it's what? It's a lofty, often slender. Slender is, it's a conical but without tip. It's a conical shape but without tip. So it's a slender tower. Turrets attached to the mosques. So these towers were attached to the mosques, the different mosques. Even you can see in the mosques also there are so many minarets, and surrounded by furnace or furnished with one or more balconies. So these minarets consist the balconies as well. So from these balconies, mujammin call the people for the prayer. So basically mujammins are there. They call the people for the prayer or for the offering prayer to the god. So on these minarets they have used this like this way only. Mosaic. So mosaic is another feature of the Islamic architecture. It's a pattern or image made of small or rectangular or irregular pieces of colored stones, glass and ceramic that held in place by plaster or mortar by covering a surface. So basically mosaic is what? A small stones, colorful glass and ceramics, they all were used and they were set together or stick together with the help of plaster or mortar, that cement and the limestone and all. So they stick together to form a definite pattern, to give a definite flower or the geometric pattern. So this particular sticking of different stones on a particular tile or on a particular stone, that is the mosaic. Now there you can see the picture of, you have already seen the true arch. True arch is a gateway gateway basically that helped to look the architecture good and big. Now you can see the motifs also. Motifs is what there you can see in the picture. This motifs is a repeated diagram. Repeated diagram there you can see easily in the picture. That is a repeated diagram that was created, and this repetitive diagram is known as the motifs. And arabesque, you can see that there is this is a stone slab, and this stone slab is cut so precisely that uh, every single line that you can see there you can see the different flowers, and the stones, the leaves or the stems of those petals or leaves were joined together. There are circular holes, those who are passing through it. So this is a different from the other architectures, other form of decoration, that is the arabesque. So arabesque was used for the constructing the different monuments. There you can see this is how delicate it is and how precisely it is done. There you can see the knot, also knot is there. So this is the arabesque. This is only done by the carving on the stone by the help of chisel and the hammer. With the help of chisel and hammer, these things were carved. Now next, that is the mosaic that I had explained. That mosaic is what? This is a particular tiles, and there you can see the colorful stones were there, glasses were there. They were pasted so precisely that they look beautiful, and they appear as a very good art. And these mosaics were also used in the different forms of Islamic architectures. Now you can see the calligraphy. So calligraphy is what? Calligraphy is basically a drawing, it's a way of writing only, but in a different way. Now you can see at the corner, at the top corner, you can see the picture of flowers. The small flowers were there. At the down also you can see the small flowers are there. So this creates the calligraphy or the writing particular things looks great and good. So in the different Islamic architecture monuments, these calligraphies were also done with the help of stones and the other semi-precious stone and the precious stones. Now motifs, I had explained that motif is what? It's a decorative image or design that is specially a repeated one that forms a pattern. So these were the repeated, you have seen the picture, that is the repeated diagram, and they form the pattern. So like whether these patterns were repeated squares or circles, so these were they might be overlapped or interlaced, they might be connected with each other. So these creative things were there done in the different Islamic architectures. Calligraphy, as I told you, so it's a ancient writing technique that was used. The flat edges pens were used, and with the help of the stroke, the different direction of the stroke, the calligraphies were wrote during the ancient medieval period. So this calligraphy is also there on the Islamic structure. And arabesque you have seen in the picture, that is the ornamental design consisting the intertwined flowing lines. So you have seen that how the stones were chiseled, and they were so joined together. The knots were also there, and they gives the beautiful structure to the monument. So these were some of the features that were used by the Mughals for their construction of the monuments. Now let us see some of the examples which help us to create the different vision for the Islamic architecture. Now let us begin with the dome. So there you can see the picture of dome, that is the half circular and half hemispherical shape is there, and this gives the structure looks tall and grand. So this is the picture of Alai Darwaja, that is in the Delhi, in the Qutub complex where the Qutub Minar is situated. This Alai Darwaja was built by Sultan Alauddin Khilji in 1311. The Alai Darwaja is example where two arch and dome was used. Now you can see the entrance of that this particular Alai Darwaja or the dome. You can see that this particular entrance or the gateway is an example of true arch. So the stone was made like that, and rest stone were keep beneath that stones, that gives the shape of the true arch. So dome that makes the structure look tall and grand. So this is the basically example of dome. There you can see the true arch also, that is the Alai Darwaja, that was constructed by Alauddin Khilji in 1311. Now let us talk about the minarets. So basically minarets is, you have seen, you can see in the picture, it's a conical but tip is removed from there, without tip basically. So it was this is a picture of Qutub Minar, and this Qutub Minar was started by Qutbuddin Aibak, but Iltutmish has completed this construction. So Qutub Minar is, it's about 73-meter high tower. It is a victory tower basically, and Qutbuddin Aibak created this victory tower when he got the opportunity to win over the last Hindu kingdom, and this different multi-storied building, that is the minarets, Qutub Minar basically. So the first 3 story was made up of red sandstone. So there you can see, you can bifurcate also what the Qutub Minar is look alike. The first 3 stories of the Qutub Minar is made up of red sandstone. So there you can see the red color is appeared, and the 4th and 5th story are made up of marble and the sandstone. So basically the 4th and 5th story is it's made up of marble. There you can see the separate color from the third and from the first, second and third floor, and the sandstone is also used in the 5th floor. So this gives the structure, this shows the structure is made up of different rocks. It also serves as a visual focal point from where this helps for the natural ventilation also. Also in the Qutub Minar, Islamic calligraphy is also done. Balconies were also made. There you can see the balconies, and those balconies were linked together with each other. So this is the good example of minarets. The Qutub Minar is the good example of minarets that were constructed by the Qutbuddin Aibak and the Iltutmish. Now the next thing that we have to understand, that the mosques. So mosques is what? Mosques is a place where the people worship. So there you can see the picture of mosque, and that is used for the prayer purposes by the Islamic faith people. So the mosques is where the people can gather, they study, they celebrate festivals such as Ramjan, and they can also use to the house and school, as well as it serve as a community center. And there is an Arabic word mosque, that means masjid, and that is a place for the prostration. So that is the place where we can worship, offer prayer to the God. So mosque, this also displayed a fusion of indigenous and newly introduced architectural styles. Also the mosques have had the lofty gates, tall and slender minarets, and dome can be seen. So these are the things that is visible in the different mosques that were constructed by the different rulers. Now tomb is also there. So tomb is what? It's a place where it's a kind of place where the dead people or the dead rulers were kept, or they were kept as imaginary. Means they were not literally kept, their dead bodies did not literally kept, but in the memories of those rulers, these structures were made. So tomb had a different features that was used for the construction of different tombs, like hujra. So hujra is one of the pattern that was used in the tomb, that is the mehman khana or the drawing room where people can sit. So this is the hujra where people can sit. And another one is cenotaph. Cenotaph is a place, that is the empty tomb monument erected in the honor of the person or group of people whose remains were elsewhere. So as I told, that not literally the remains of that particular ruler is kept there, or the famous person is kept there. It's a honor, that's it's a room that provide the honor. It's an empty tomb basically. So that is also a part of tomb after the hujra. So hujra is what? It's a mehman khana, it's a guest room, it's a hall basically where people can sit. Mihrab is also one of the wall that is meant in the direction of the Makkah. So in which direction Makkah is situated, in only that direction the mihrab is made. Also, gardens are the main feature of the tombs. So basically wherever the tomb is situated, that was constructed by the Islamic rulers, the tomb is covered or the surrounded by the gardens, different gardens. So these were the features of the tombs, that was the feature used in the earlier time. Now you can see the picture of Humayun tomb. So this is the tomb that is finest example of tomb architecture, that is used the double dome. And double dome in the sense, from the interior dome is different and the exterior dome is different. And it is in the octagonal shape, or it rises up into 2 stories. So this is, there you can see it is made up of 2 story. And the domes were of the 2 double dome is there, and the inner dome is different from the outer dome. So this is the Humayun example of the Humayun tomb. Now the picture of Akbar tomb at Sikandara near the Agra, you can see. Okay, now you can see the pavilions also. So what is pavilion? Now this is what I am zooming over there. This is the pavilion. So this is, pavilions were also constructed in the various monuments, but in the tombs this structure is constructed by the constructed for the Akbar's tomb basically. So it is a rectangular structure with octagonal towers at each corners. So each corners had the towers as well, you can see. And it has no central dome, which make it different from others. So it has no central dome in the in this Akbar's tomb. So it creates a different architecture from the other architecture what you have seen in the other tombs. And also it is a 5-story. So it has a 5-story pavilion. Basically you can see the pavilions that what I showed. So different 5-story pavilion is there, and that's create a different from the other other monuments basically. So this is the tomb of Akbar. One more feature is there in the tomb is the Hast Behist. Hast Behist is what? It is a central hall. That hall is surrounded by the 8 rooms. So this basically this Hast Behist is found in the almost every of the Mughal architectures, which creates the central hall as well as 8 room beside that hall, around that hall. Now, so these are the things that we have to understand in this video. In the next video I will explain the other form of architecture that was created by the Islamic people and the Mughal emperor as well as Delhi Sultan. So in the continuity of that we will continue this topic in the next video as well. Now your homework is to write the main features of the Islamic architecture in your classwork copy. Thank you, students.